Right then, we had a bit of confusion last weekend in Dorgu's debut with United playing our shiny new left back at right wing back. From the outside looking in, it might have seemed quite odd, especially with Dalot playing on a side that is unnatural to him in a position that he's kind of struggled in since Amorim took charge. But there might be some method in the madness. Now, obviously, Amorim said he wanted him on his side of the pitch so he could speak to him. But I think there's probably a little bit more at play, and there might be some method in his madness. So let's have a look at the reasons why. So we signed Dorgu with the knowledge that he was an incredibly versatile player. Yes, he's primarily a defender, primarily a left wing back, but he's also someone that's played as a right winger on numerous occasions for Lecce. He also played at right back and right midfield. He featured as a right winger over 10 times for Lecce, but yes, he is predominantly a left back. Lecce manager clearly saw some value in deploying him off the right-hand side, perhaps to be an inverted winger that comes in onto that powerful left foot that we know he's got. He played right winger on 11 occasions in total, registering 3 goals in those games that he played. Also, on a short reflection of what Amorim's done at Sporting, we know that he also loved a left-footed right side right wing back. The standout example of that would be Quenda, who were actually reported to be interested in. And that trend has obviously continued at United, where you've seen Amad Diallo feature as a right wing back plenty of times in Amorim's tenure. Now, each of those players mentioned there are direct, they are technical, they are skillful. Ruben Amorim clearly demands that his wing-backs push as high as possible and are in the final third as attacking assets. The likes of Quenda, the likes of Amad, the likes of Dorgu, the people that relish the opportunity to get at defences and to try and create things in the final third. There is clearly a trend in having inverted right wing backs in the team. He seems to clearly like that. Clearly their tendencies play a big part in the way he wants to set his team up. Now, typically, one of the wing backs is going to need to be a little bit more defensive minded and maybe a refresh on the right hand side. Maybe he decides to do that with Dorgu. Maybe he decides that it's Mazraoui that's going to feature there. It's Mazraoui that's featured there quite often, but the attacking output from him, as good as I think Mazraoui's been, is not really there. And actually, I think United have probably looked better when we've had Amad as the right wing back. Now, that might be because we've gone with extra attacking players rather than extra defenders. But, there's clearly some thought behind this from Ruben Amorim. Now, it could have just been that there was a tactical tweak and it was the first game and we take him at his word that he wanted to have Dorgu right alongside him on the sideline so he could coach him through that game. I felt that was probably a little bit strong from him. Like, you don't necessarily need to coach players through a game to that level, I don't think. But, maybe that's just what Amorim wanted to do. I think it could have been an opportunity where Dorgu could have caused carnage on the right-hand side versus Leicester. He did look positive. He didn't quite hit the carnage kind of level. I felt that there was times in the game when him and Amad, because they're on the right, predominantly left-footed, and they want to check inside onto that left foot, they were making the same movements, and actually someone that was maybe more right foot dominant might have made opposite movements, and that might have created some gaps and some space, and they might have gone into different areas of the pitch at different times. But obviously it was the first game. So I don't know if there's too much to worry about from that point of view. But what I think is a valid worry is the sustainability of playing Dorgu on the right. We need someone that's going to come on and take that left wing back spot. I don't really want to see Dorgu played on the right frequently. It might work, but long term, I think we're better with a left wing back played on the left side. And playing a left footer on the right does cause issue in build up. You see this on the left hand side at the moment when we're playing Dalot on the left because he's right footed. Building out is all about creating angles and efficiencies and people controlling it with the correct foot and laying it off with the correct foot. Angles are tough to find and play through when you're playing people on their unnatural sides. And if you've got Dalot and Dorgu playing on the opposite side, it's going to make you narrower and doesn't allow you to utilize the full width of the pitch, which is something that you absolutely need to do in the press-heavy Premier League that we find ourselves in. You know how they're going to receive it. You know that you can pressure them from one side and you're going to cause all sorts of problems. And you know that they're going to want to try and cut in onto that foot more often than not, which eliminates the threat of them coming around the outside. That's a massive, massive problem. And as well as this, you don't really get first-time crosses, because any cross that comes from an unnatural-sided player has to be checked back onto their stronger foot. That delays the speed. That allows defenders that extra half a second to get set. You can clearly see what they're doing because their hips and their body start to turn to favour onto that strong foot. You don't get anything played first time, and that becomes a problem. And that was one of the reasons why Luke Shaw was so missed under Erik ten Hag. The second that you had Luke Shaw in the team raiding up and down that left-back spot, this was the second that you started to see real slick play coming in the final third. It wasn't just that he was injured, it was the frustration. United were dysfunctional when he wasn't in the team because of what he offered us in the final third. Now, obviously, this is all very general, and it's very early in Dorgu's Manchester United career. But I think he's got the quality to play in that area and to help us in that area. It would be high risk. I would hope it would be high reward. He's not a one-dimensional player. In fact, I think he's got multifaceted skill set that's really useful. He isn't one-footed. He can use his right foot, but there is absolutely one foot that is stronger than the other. The players that surround him have to give him an opportunity for link-up play. There has to be a desire to go one touch in the final third, something that we've really lacked. But there isn't really too much to worry about if he continues to play on that right-hand side. I just think that we get an extra bit of juice on the left if we play him on the left. All in all, I do think that's where he's going to play. But I just thought it was worth looking at, discussing, maybe explaining why we saw him on the right-hand side and why it wasn't the drama that some people were trying to make it. I thought it was quite funny that we've been desperate for this left-back for so long. We finally get the left-back and everyone's like, "Are you playing on the right?" Just thought it was quite funny. Anyway, give us your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.